Hi, I'm Victoria Ballou, and thank you for trusting your intuition to hear the message that your subconscious has for you today. We're also going to tune in to dream symbols you're probably having based upon the cards that you choose. So I invite you to choose a stack of cards, and I also invite you for more information to subscribe to my magazine, astrologicmagazine.com, to find out much more information about tarot, astrology, dream interpretation, and many other metaphysical subjects. So right now, use your intuition and choose the stack of cards that resonates with you in this moment. Don't overthink it. Is it underneath Vesta, my warrior priestess, or underneath this beautiful shell fossilized millions of years ago? Or are you choosing this quartz obelisk that resonates the most amazing power when you touch it? Choose your stack of cards and let's see what the message is from your subconscious today. We'll begin with Vesta, and we will move her over and take a look at your first card, which is your overview. This is your energy from a broad standpoint right now. This is what you're resonating with in this moment. So this is sort of a validation, and we're going to tune in and see what that is right now. You have the Tower card. This means that something in your life is changing right now. It could be something emotional, mental, or physical. You could be experiencing a job change or a move, and it could be something that you really don't embrace at this moment. When the Tower card shows up, what this usually indicates is that things are being disrupted in a major fashion, but it's all necessary. Everything has to come crumbling down regarding whatever situation this is, because once all of this falls apart, something new begins. You have cleared the deck, to use that metaphor, so that something new can be built. If you are struggling right now with this Tower energy that's in your life, we're going to take a look at the challenge card, your second card, to see specifically, get a little more detail on what's going on. But clearly, something in your life is being majorly disrupted. And as I said, it could be something physical. It could be something emotional that is disrupting you, like the end of a relationship or something that is causing you some real issues. Let's dive deeper and see what the challenge card says. Yeah, okay, and so here it's the Four of Swords. Here in the Thoth deck, it's called Truce. What this means, again, this is validating this Tower energy that's come up. It's saying that you are having a really difficult time coming to grips with this situation, finding any sort of truce, any sort of peace with this. And so, this being your challenge energy, what this is saying is that yes, the Tower card says the change is here, the change is happening, no matter what you want it to be instead of. And if you struggle, it's kind of like quicksand. It just means that it's going to be a more difficult situation, put you in a harder place to navigate through this. And so with the Tower card, you must always just accept it. Find the opportunity is what I always do when I am faced with a challenge like this. And certainly this Four of Swords card is saying that you are having a hard time accepting this. And so the only way to operate, and we will get more clarity on this with the course of action called for card here, but you have to just allow this to happen because it's not going to change. It's not going to be any different for you. So let's take a look at what your course of action called for card is. Well, this brings us actually a lot of clarity because it's the Eight of Cups. It's called indolence in the Thoth deck here. And what this is saying is you need to turn loose of the anxiety, the frustration, you're very mired in not being able to move forward here, and this is very clear. Whatever this change is that has come into your life, you're really struggling with it. And I'm glad that you tuned in for this message today, because this is exactly what your subconscious wanted you to hear. It's very important that you understand this change must go forward, and you have to make peace with it. You have to find the place that this actually fits into your life now. You have to reorganize. You have to recommit to certain things. That is what this is saying. And so here we go. Let's look at these three cards here, because indeed you have the Tower card, which is saying absolutely the change is here, but you're having difficulty with it. And furthermore, what you need to do is understand it's essential that you find the way to navigate through this, because otherwise it's going to cause you really severe problems. And in fact, it already has, because you are stuck. Not only are you stuck in this situation, but you're feeling very nervous, anxious, frustrated, all of these anxiety feelings that are coming up. This is not a happy situation for you. So I want you to find the way. And how do you find the way? Well, you just understand that it's time to tune into looking at this as an opportunity, even though it may be something really difficult for you to do. If you can look at this as an opportunity and find the way to move through this, then you're going to deal with all of this energy in a very constructive, concrete way. And remember, the Tower always energetically happens with this collapse of something, so that something new can be built. And if you can focus on that, that is indeed what is going to happen in your life, I promise. From a dreaming standpoint, what I expect that you are dreaming about in this moment, the previous night, maybe a repetitive dream even, could be something very much like a building collapsing. Because, of course, buildings represent aspects of our mind. It could be a house collapsing. It could be anything that is falling down and you are inside of it. You are trapped, or you are unable to control what's happening. I would think very much that symbolically you have something like this happening in your dreams. And of course, this is just your subconscious resonating with what is going on in your conscious life. And it's your subconscious mind saying, pay attention to this, because it is collapsing, it is changing, and you have no control over it at this point. But embracing it on whatever level you need to move this energy forward it's essential right now. So that is what you need to do. And I really hope you do this. I'm glad you tuned in if you chose this stack, because this is a pivot point for you. This is a turning point where you can really turn the corner on this frustrating, anxious energy that you're experiencing. It could even be depression. Yeah, it feels like depression is coming through. I want you to understand it's up to you to make this change, and you can do it and change the direction in your life from this point going forward. All right, let's take a look at the second stack. We're going to move over this beautiful shell, fossilized millions of years ago, and take a look at the first card, which is your overview energy. This is where you are from a broad standpoint right now. Let's see what's going on. All right, so you have the Five of Cups. It's called disappointment here in the Thoth deck. And this is saying that something in your life has not worked out, or is not working out the way that you would hope. And I'm sorry for that. Disappointment comes in large and small doses, and this could be either one for you, but you know what it is energetically. If it's something big, then you immediately know it could be something really on a devastating scale of disappointment for you, or it could be just a little something. Whatever it is, let's see what the challenge energy is to work with this and to get your energy flowing again and back on track. So you have the Princess of Wands here, one of my favorite cards, because this represents spontaneous energy. This is This is energy that's ready to drop everything and follow your heart's desire. That's what this card is talking about. Because here she is, just naked to the world, right? Hiding nothing, and she literally has a tiger by the tail, meaning she's fearless too. That's what this energy represents, and that's what's you need to embrace right now. Is if you are suffering from disappointment, and I know that you are, what your challenge is to bring back that spontaneity, bring back that energy, that vivaciousness that you probably possess otherwise if you weren't in this situation right now. So that is your challenge energy, because clearly this is being suppressed right now. We're going to take a look at your course of action called for card, which is going to help guide you on how to get all of this back on track. Well, okay, I'm not surprised to see this. Ace of Wands. Indeed, there is something that is obstructing your clear vision. There is something that is keeping you from moving forward, and it must be removed. This is what is causing your disappointment. So we have a very clear picture here, as well as a roadmap of how you need to handle this. And what it is saying is you need to embrace that fabulous nature of yours, where you're not going to let whatever is disappointing you get you down, throw you off track any longer. In fact, what you're going to do is allow that beautiful nature of being spontaneous and fearless to come through. Being your authentic self is what this is talking about. This is absolutely what you need to do, because this Ace of Wands is saying you have to remove the obstacle. There is something that is pulling you away from your direct course that you need to be on. And again, this could be something small or something from your past, something that is lying in that belief system of yours that you've had since childhood. We often have to deal with things like that. This is saying remove it. How do you remove it? It's absolutely essential that you look at all the different options. And there are a lot of options. That's where you bring your logic in to mentally look at the ways that you can remove this obstacle. But also, of course, that logical thinking is swords energy. But with this Princess of Wands energy, this is your spirit that really needs to manifest here. This is the head and the heart working together, saying, no, I know how to do this. That's how you clear the path to allow whatever disappointing energy this is, if it's turning loose of something, if it's working around something, or if it's just finally embracing it because you decide you have no other choice. There are three options here that I can see. One of those is what you need to work with. So from a dreaming standpoint, I would expect that you do have something regarding your clothing that you're struggling with in a dream, because again, you're suppressing your natural authenticity. You're suppressing something, and of course, when we appear naked in dreams, that just means we have nothing to hide. That just means we are showing our authentic selves. And while it may feel embarrassing sometimes in your dreams to be naked, it's just a symbol in the language of our mind. It really represents, just the ability to be free and show our true selves to others. That's the symbol. So in your dream, if you're in clothing that doesn't fit right, that doesn't feel right, that is constricting you in some way, that is saying it's because your authentic self is not being allowed to come through. But you can change that, and only you can change that. So I want you to consider everything that I'm saying here. There is a way to move forward, and it's by being your authentic self. All right, let's take a look at the third stack of cards underneath this beautiful quartz obelisk. First card is your overview card, your energy from a broad standpoint right now. Let's see what's going on. You have the Star. How wonderful for you, because this means that right now you feel like you're in a place where you're understanding things very clearly. It could be one subject in particular, or it could be just from a very general standpoint. But you have reached a place in this moment where something is very crystal clear to you as far as seeing the situation. It also could mean you're being recognized in your job or among your family, among your friends, for literally being the star of the show, being a star in some respect. Generally, what this card is saying is that you're in a good place right now, so congratulations. I'm really happy for you. But with everything, there's always a challenge, a way for us to grow, an opportunity, and that's what the next card is all about, your challenge energy. Let's see what that is. Okay, so you have the Knight of Cups here. This is interesting because, again, star energy is so beautiful, and speaking of clear perception, but the Knight of Cups, this is energy that is very devoted, right? This is energy that wants to find the answer to some really deep question. This is, he's the Grail Knight here, represented in the Thoth deck, and that's the Holy Grail that you see in his hands here. So what this is saying is that even though you're feeling like you really have an understanding of what's going on in your life, there's something deeper. And maybe that's what you're understanding, is that even though you're feeling pretty good about things and understanding what's going on, and you recognize that there is something deeper that you need to embrace. And so we're going to take a look at the third card here. Your course of action called for. This is going to bring it all together in terms of how to address this issue and really just have a full embodiment of the clarity that you have partial, in a partial state right now. Yeah, okay, so it's the Two of Wands, Dominion, as it's called here in the Thoth deck. This is saying you need to take control of the situation. So now we're getting a really clear picture of what's going on. Despite this fabulous clarity that you are possessing right now, despite this winning feeling from a very general sense, you understand there's something deeper that is challenging you, that you're not quite complete with, and therefore what your course of action called for is to take charge of the situation. And how do you take charge of the situation? It's that you understand what your options are and move forward with the best one, the one that suits you, the one that, again, that star energy is saying, yes, this is clear to me, this is what I need to do. Action is needed on your part right now because, I'm not going to call it a crisis of the soul because it doesn't feel that intense, but it does feel like something is off for you, right? That something is not quite aligned because you have like this partial clarity. I'll keep using the word clarity, but that's what it is. You have this partial understanding of where you are and what you need to be doing, but yet intuitively you have something that is much deeper that you understand is not filling in all of those spaces within you. And you know what I'm talking about here. And therefore you really do have to take action on this. Anything that brings you closer to your spirit and to that energy that feels so wonderful to you in your quiet moments, things like meditation, prayer, any sort of activity that allows you to sit in a quiet place, to still your mind. I like to do isolation tanks for an hour, 90 minutes, because that allows my monkey mind to settle down, and that gets me to the core of where I am and what I need to be focused on. So whatever it is for you, see if you can bring yourself into that place where you're able to understand what you need to do and then take charge to do it, which usually means making some changes in your life, whether they're big or small. And this will take you on the track of filling in that place within you that you understand needs to be filled in. You're almost there. That's what I want you to understand. This star card is saying you're so close to being there. So just go that extra step and take charge to fill in that gap within that spiritual realm of yours, because you're so close right there. From a dreaming standpoint, I really feel as though this could be something, flying is something that really resonates with this sort of energy. When we're flying, we're free. We are soaring to new heights. So if you are having difficulty in your dreams with flying, if you're wanting to fly or trying to fly and it's just not happening, that is indicative of something that's taking place here in your conscious life. And this is your subconscious again. Our dreams are very much tied to the tarot energy because they're both our subconscious energies coming through, trying to guide us, trying to help us, always wanting to benefit us. So pay attention to your dreams. And I bet you do have something regarding flying and the inability to fly or the desire to fly or not being able to. Once you address the issue of filling that spiritual need within yourself, then that dream will go away, or you will just take off and soar. And I really hope that you do. All right. Thank you for joining me today. If you have questions, please leave them in the comments below. And I invite you to subscribe to my monthly online magazine, Astrologic. You can find it at astrologicmagazine.com, where we have so many articles on tarot and astrology and dream interpretation and so many metaphysical subjects that it really is opening the door for you to walk through and enjoy things that you already tune into, that you already resonate with, but also to discover new aspects of our metaphysical world. Thanks so much for joining me.